Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pipeline Podcast. I'm your host, Darren McClymans. We are here, episode 79. I'm here for a very special guest, the one, the only, the fabulous, the amazing, the Red Arrow's here. Braden, how are you doing today? How's it going?
The spectacular. Let's just throw some more Spider-Man adjectives in there.
I
I'm
always
pretty good.
I'm glad to hear. I always just go through that list as like all the superhero like adjectives you can use: incredible, spectacular, invincible, just whatever ones I could think of. Invincible, maybe, I don't know.
There's so many. Like, how many adjectives did Stan Lee use back in the day?
You just had like a dictionary going down.
Uncanny, the uncanny X-Men.
Probably, yeah. It's so great to have you back. It's been a minute. I think the last time we had you on here was June when we talked about the Flash, which feels like it's been years. I know, it feels like it's been forever.
It's been 9 months. It's been a minute.
I know, it's insane. We had to have you back on here. Connor's not here this week. Connor said, screw this podcast. I'm never coming up. Just kidding. He hasn't caught up with the show. He has some work stuff to do. So he decided to take a little break from this episode, and that's okay. But we're so happy to have you here.
No, Connor's just upset that neither of us ranked Batman v Superman at number 1 in our DCEU rankings.
Yeah, that might be it. That might be it. No, I'm very excited. So
I'm still upset about the last time all three of us podcasted together.
So as of now, X-Men 97, it's out. It has come out. People have seen it. I have seen it. I personally love it. I'm loving what they're doing. And we thought it'd be really fun, as we're kind of diving back into like the world of the X-Men, we're going to be talking about X-Men the animated series a little bit. Now, we both have watched this relatively recently, right?
Yeah, I just saw it for the first time this year, so.
Yeah. That's it, and I feel like a lot of people are kind of doing that exact same thing, which I think is always the fun part when you have like a show coming back or a show getting like a reboot or something where like everyone is for the first time is watching through the show. It's a show I grew up on. It was my first superhero thing ever that I had ever watched. So there was a sweet point for that show, but like I didn't remember like any of it. I was like, this is all like outside of like 3 to 4 episodes, this was all new to me. So this was a really fun just kind of journey going through those 76 episodes. So I'm very excited to kind of hop in and be able to talk about it a little bit. Stranger in the chat, Stranger, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. So Braden, we normally like to start our episodes here kind of doing a little bit of a just kind of a recap of what things that we watched throughout the week, or things that we played, or things that we read. Was there anything throughout this week that you had either watched or read or played, or that like you would like to give a shout out to, like, hey, this is what I'm doing right now?
Yeah, so I started rewatching Malcolm in the Middle, one of my favorite shows ever. I think it's the best TV sitcom ever made. I started rewatching that again this week, and it's been great. I don't think I've watched anything else this week.
That's fair. I really need to go through it, man. I really need to. I've seen like the first half of the first season, and I thought it was great. I was like, this is really funny. And I stopped for some reason. Like,
it's so hilarious, man.
It's so...
I feel like the first season is so different than all the other seasons too, because they are like they are definitely so much younger than they end up being. Because the youngest he stays young, but like the other two literally go through puberty basically between the oldest or the second oldest. The oldest doesn't even live in the household. Reese is the second oldest. He basically goes through like pretty big changes from season 1 to season 2, and you can start seeing a lot of changes with Malcolm as well, just in them developmenting as human beings and children, as men.
Sure. It's always really fun when you have like shows with kids and you get to literally see them grow throughout season to season. And like by the final season, they're just like 18. It's like, what the hell happened to you?
Yeah, it's crazy because rewatching like season 1 and season 2 is just crazy to me. Like, especially seeing Reese, because in the first season, he looks so short, even though he's the oldest brother in the house. I'm like, man, he looks so much smaller than I remember him seeing. And then by season 3, he's like, full-grown teen. I'm like, okay, yeah. Right. That's what I'm used to seeing when I think of this show in my head.
Sure. And just on a binge, it's always so weird to be like, yo, yesterday you were like 6, and now you're 22. What happened?
Yeah. No, that's a
Yeah,
great show though. And they
yeah.
like feel like a real family. Like they feel like
Mm,
an actual working class family. And I feel like that's just a magic that not every show can give you.
sure. I mean, it's been on that giant list of shows I want to get through at some point. Just like sitcoms. There's so many sitcoms I want to watch. There's so many
Yeah,
good
no,
ones.
your Valentine's episode actually, when
Mhm.
you were talking about relationships in
Yeah.
TV, Hal and Lois, one of the best relationships I've ever seen
Yeah.
in anything. They are incredible. And
Hell
like
yeah.
I cannot see one without the other. I cannot see one
Sure.
with another person. They are like perfect for each other.
Hal is so much
And
fun to see because just like Bryan Cranston has done so many other roles. Just like Hal versus like Walter is so funny because they've
it's
seen like
kind of crazy when you look at where Walter started too, because he is
yeah,
not far from where Hal is. He's just an everyday
yeah,
working dad. You know, he loves his family. He's a family man, working man. Then, you know, he becomes a fucking kingpin and
right.
goes insane.
So
Power hungry.
it's so funny. Yeah,
Man,
I mean,
imagine if that happened to Hal. That would be the most heartbreaking thing ever.
my gosh, yeah, could happen to anyone. But no, again, it's a show I want to get through at some point. I want to just bite the bullet at some point, but maybe prior to that film, um, whenever that film comes out, maybe I'll try and
Oh wait, there's a
get caught up.
movie?
That's the plan. That's actually what we
Wait,
talked
you
about.
told me about this the last time I
Yeah,
was
the
on the show
last time we had
too.
talked about like Brian was
Oh
like,
my
"Yo, I
god.
really want to do a movie," and it was just like, "Okay, let's see if that happens." And we haven't heard anything, but maybe in 9 months we'll have you back, and it'll be like, "It's announced." We're like, "Yay!"
Somehow Malcolm in the Middle is always going to come up when I make an appearance on this show.
It's it's tradition. It has to happen. Yeah, no, I mean, as far as what I watched this week, I mean, the Walking Dead has been kind of like over these last several weeks. Me and Connor have been talking about my journey through that. Um, Started the first half of season 6. I won't talk about it too much because I know you haven't seen it or anything. I'll wait until Connor comes back for that. But I'm really enjoying that. I've been revisiting the like MonsterVerse films prior to Godzilla X Kong coming out. And on our other show, we're about to start Monarch, which is like the spin-off show that they did, which I hear is like really, really good. So I'm very excited to kind of hop into that. And I'm going to talk about that on my other podcast. So very excited for that. I'm trying to think, was there anything else I watched? These these like weeks go so quickly where like I want to watch so much each week and I just never get the chance to do so. But yeah, fun stuff ahead.
Yeah, I'm at least going to try to rewatch Godzilla versus Kong before
Mhm.
Godzilla X Kong. I don't know about the other ones though. Like,
Yeah.
I've never even seen Godzilla 2014 or King of Monsters though.
Oh
Like, I
really?
watched Godzilla versus Kong entirely for Kong. I'm just a look. You
Yeah.
put a gorilla, you put an ape on a screen, man, and you give them character. I'm gonna want to go see that movie.
Mm.
I'm an ape man. I love me some giant apes. Love me some rampaging apes, some Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Kong has been the best part of these movies. I think Godzilla's okay. I think the 2014 movie is fine. It's whatever. Same with like your King of Monsters. I think it's fine. But then like Kong is so fun. Like that movie is such a like fresh of breath air. And I think I like the newest one just because it's like Kong is like the main character in that movie. Like Godzilla is there because Kong needs someone to fight, but like it feels like that feels like it's Kong's film, which is really funny. Um, but yeah, no, I'm excited for this new one. I hope it. I'm excited to see what happens with it, if it has any tie-ins to like the two shows that they've done so far, or kind of where we're taking this franchise for sure.
There's been 2 shows? I knew about the Monarch show.
There's the
What's the other
Monarch,
show?
and then they did a Netflix show about the Kong Skull, like his island. I think it's a
Whoa.
prequel.
What?
Yeah, I think it's an anime show. I was talking about this on my other show this past
Oh,
Monday,
it's
where like
animated, okay.
it's yeah, and like, it came out and like no one watched it, like no one talked about it. I don't think most people didn't even know
I
it came out.
feel like I might have saw, like, a concept art or poster art of this and just thought it
Yeah,
wasn't a real thing.
yeah, no,
Because I remember seeing, like, the animated, like, Skull Island thing, and I was like, "That's not real. Why would they make that?" But I guess
yeah.
they did.
I don't even know if it's good or not. It came out and it's just like I heard nothing about it once it came out. I was like, oh, okay, must have not have done that well.
Yeah, I guess not. Because I wasn't even aware it was a thing.
Yeah, it's Netflix doesn't like market their stuff well enough. I think like they just put stuff out and be like, it's here now. It's like, oh my gosh,
They just gotta hope you see it on the homepage and check it out.
Yeah, 100%. It's
Which a
like,
lot of people probably do, to be honest.
yeah, maybe I don't know. I It's interesting. Maybe I'll watch it at some point as just a thing to do. I don't know. Alrighty though, we're gonna be jumping into some news stories again. We're not talking about everything that came out this week. Like we had a Jimmy Olsen casting for Superman and Lois this past week. Pretty big stuff. I'm saving that for next week because Connor's definitely going to want to talk about that. But yeah, let's hop in. Alrighty, first up here, we had this week was a lot of movie announcements. There was, and I kind of just put a couple in here just to kind of talk about them all at once here. So we have a live action Popeye movie, a Super Mario sequel, and an animated Bill Hader Cat in the Hat film was all announced. I hear you laughing. Are you laughing at like one of these photos?
The Bill Hader Cat in the Hat thing, yeah. I don't know. I can't.
Okay, so let's talk about.
So off first glance, I'm not taking any of this super serious because I didn't like the first Mario in a live action Popeye sounds ridiculous, and the first Cat in the Hat movie was the parts I've seen are so stupid.
Okay. Let's talk about Popeye first. So a live action Popeye. So there's already been a live action Popeye technically with a good old Robin Williams, which I have not seen, but I actually hear it's like pretty okay. I hear it's all right. I mean, are you just like in general? Are you a Popeye fan? Like, have you ever like watched the shows or anything?
I watched it growing up. I watched it a lot, like on Boomerang and stuff.
Sure.
I mean, I like my spinach. You know,
I can
get behind Popeye's message here.
Yeah. I grew up a little bit on Popeye. Like, I wasn't like a huge Popeye guy, but I had friends that would watch it, and I would sit down and watch it. It was a fun little show, I thought.
I don't know how this man's getting all this muscle from only eating spinach and no like meat, no protein or anything though.
He somehow does it. I don't know. I think I'm down with more Popeye content though, because I do think it's a character that has just kind of disappeared from the pop culture for a bit. So I'm okay with him getting more, just anything at all to kind of keep him in like the like zeitgeist of like pop culture. I'm curious how live action will work though, because I feel like my fear is I think you need to keep Popeye a little silly. Like, I think he needs to be a little bit of a silly goose, and I'm afraid they would like edge him up to be like live action, be like, it's cool, he's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they get like Jason Momoa to play him just so you really know he's cool.
You know what I want? I want John Mulaney. Give me John Mulaney Popeye. He's that high pitched voice, and then he just gets these giant arms, CGI arms.
Oh no.
Stranger said maybe he's secretly taking steroids. Well, maybe, I don't know. This is something's in that spinach. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that spinach could be laced. That's a good point.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see about that one. We'll see about Mr. Popeye. Okay, and the Mario 2. I loved Mario 2. I thought Mario 2 was a lot of fun. I feel like it's such a split movie though. Like, it feels like you either love Mario or there's like a bit of like a like distaste to it. You didn't like it, right?
I mean, I'm indifferent towards it.
Okay, that's fair.
I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. You know,
that's fair. I had like a really just like fun, because like my best friend that like I went to see it with, he loved Mario. Like, Mario was like his thing, and he was just geeking out the entire time. I thought that was a lot of fun, and I also think Mario, just based off the first movie, like, I wouldn't say it's like the strongest movie ever made. Like, it's a movie about Mario, and I think it's exactly what you think when you think of a Mario movie. And I think you can only get better from here. Like, I think it was a great foundation that they could build themselves onto, and then hopefully we can go just kind of bigger and better as we get 2 and 3 and 4 and however many they're going to make. Are you just like a Mario fan, just like in general, or are you just kind of like eh?
No, I've never been a Mario guy.
That's fair.
I've always been whatever. I don't have anything against Mario. I've never loved him though. I was always on the Sonic side of things growing up. Like I was a Sonic kid.
Sure. Wait.
Where's our Sonic 3 announcement? When are we getting it?
Wait, Connor, I thought
they already announced the date.
For Sonic 3?
Yeah.
That's this December, yeah.
Oh, wait, it's December?
Yep, this year.
It's this year?
They're done filming.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck. Oh, shit, yes.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that.
And Knuckles is next month.
Next month, bro.
Next month.
I am excited.
It's next month. And Connor, I thought this was you. I thought that's who I'm talking to right now. Are you not Connor? This is crazy.
I'm Connor. I don't know what this guy's talking about.
Imposter. But no, I'm excited for Mario 2. I think it'll be fun. And the Cat in the Hat animated film. So we had heard about this for a while. We actually saw some concept art about a year ago, and it looked really, really cool. I think
this is animated?
Animated Cat in the Hat movie. I just took this photo from Saturday Night Live. So that's just his. Okay. He just happened to play it on there as well.
Well, I love Bill Hader, so
I think
I'm very much open to this.
I think that's a really good casting. I think Bill Hader has that like silliness, seriousness that can play very well with that character. Because I agree with you. I think the last Cat in the Hat movie was pretty bad. I didn't like that movie.
I never saw the full movie, but like everything I've seen of it, it's pretty distasteful.
You dirty hoe! Like I don't know. I was not a fan of it.
Yeah, no, me either. It didn't look like my thing.
Yeah, but I'm down for. I think Dr. Seuss movies are always very hit or miss. Like I often feel like they're just kind of okay most times.
Well, we disagree with the 2000s How the Grinch Stole Christmas, right?
Yeah,
Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
I don't hate. I don't hate it. It's kind of a meme on here with me that like I hate him. I like despise Jim Carrey's The Grinch. Like I kind of just play it up. Like I literally have this profile on me just for the bit of it. But like I don't know. I think it's okay. It's okay. It's whatever.
I love that movie. And like I don't like love that movie, but I love that movie.
Yeah, it's fun. I get it.
I have a lot of nostalgia for it.
That's fair. It was also a movie growing up that I wasn't allowed to watch.
And it's just insane to me that Jim Carrey like literally was going insane while recording that. Like they had to bring in a CIA agent to keep him from literally losing his mind. That's just crazy to me, and it makes me respect that movie and Jim Carrey a lot more, honestly.
Yeah, like I think Jim Carrey as an
also
actor,
Sonic has given me a new appreciation for Jim Carrey too, especially the later part of his career.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I respect Jim Carrey as an actor. Like, I don't know if his roles are always some of my favorites, just that style, but like he puts in the work. Like he puts in that extra level to these crazy, outrageous characters, and he's back for your Sonic 3. So I'm glad that he's like coming out and being able to play that character one last time. Maybe not one last time. I don't know. I don't know what his plans are for that, but yeah. I'm relatively excited for all three of these. I just want to see more. Just see what comes next. Yeah.
I may or may not watch these movies.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
When there's trouble, do you know who to call?
Teen Titans.
A live-action Teen Titans movie is in the works.
Oh, yes, I heard about this.
This was a surprise. This is kind of a shock.
The only thing that... Okay, so I know we've been bit so many times with stuff getting announced, then not happening.
Yes.
The only thing that gives me faith that this is a good possibility is the scripts being written by the same person that wrote the Supergirl script.
Yes.
And if they got her to write this script that soon after she finished the Supergirl script, how much confidence do they have to have in that Supergirl script?
I agree.
So that makes me excited, not just for the Teen Titans movie, but also for Supergirl. So they're doing a damn good job of getting me ready for the DCU or DCU. God, I have to get used to the difference in names and everything.
Yeah, I mean, Supergirl, I mean, everything we've heard about that movie, like, it seems like they are really liking what they're putting with that movie and everything. Like it has like superseded like a lot of the movies that were supposed to come prior to that. So it seems like they have a lot of confidence, so much so that they're giving her the keys to like the Teen Titans. We have actually talked about like a Teen Titans movie for a while, that just being something that you were really wanting. I mean, what's something that you would like? Like, what do you envision with a Teen Titans
Darren, I
movie,
might be
and like,
more
what would you like
excited
to
for this
see?
movie.
Oh,
I just want
oh,
this movie to happen, dude. I
yeah.
think I'm more excited for this movie than either of the Batman movies than any DC movie. Because
Whoa.
we've never had a Teen Titans
Yeah,
movie. I have like 10 Batman movies I can go watch.
sure. I
So
agree.
I want this so bad.
Yeah.
What do I? So my ideal Teen Titans movie, Deathstroke would be the villain.
Okay.
Maybe be hired by a Brother Blood or something. You could literally just do Judas Contract if you wanted to, or
I was thinking that
not,
too.
because we've
Yeah.
already seen that story. But we haven't seen, like, if you're going to do a live action movie, that is the quintessential Teen Titans story. That's the one that everyone knows. So it would make sense to do Judas Contract. But I mean, if they're planning for a sequel, they could save that also. I don't know. I just want Deathstroke in some form. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think I kind of just like the idea of this lineup. Like, I think this lineup, maybe outside of like a Cyborg, because I'm not sure if they'll want to use him for Justice League or Teen Titans or both. Like, what direction
Yeah, I
they're going
think
with him.
there's certain characters you need. You're gonna need at least a Robin, and
Yeah.
like if Nightwing's in there, I'm not gonna be upset.
Yeah.
But they do specifically say Teen Titan tier, so like
Hmm.
I like if Nightwing's there, I'd want him to be like the oldest member, obviously, and like
Yeah.
one of the only members that isn't an actual teen. Like he's early 20s, mid 20s, or whatever, but he's still young enough, he can pass on the team. Nightwing, probably a Robin, Raven, Starfire, Beast Boy, even though you know my opinions on Beast Boy. He's a core member of that team.
Yeah.
And Blue Beetle. I feel like that would be the perfect place for him.
Yes. I agree.
Cyborg, if you want, but Cyborg can kind of fit anywhere you want him to.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I could see us going down the route, because like we have been told that like Nightwing is probably in your Raven the Bold. He's probably going to be in that movie in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, we also have your like Damian Wayne. If you want to throw him on this team as well, you could. I
I
would also.
want Tim Drake. I want Tim Drake to be the Robin on this team
Mm,
because
okay.
we're getting Damian Wayne and Brave in the Bold. I want a different Robin on the Titans. Like,
Okay.
have Damian be the Robin under Batman. Batman is training Damian.
Yeah.
But, the others are just better prepared to be away from Batman. Batman's
Right.
still, he's keeping Damian safe. Damian's not at that age he's ready to let him go. So I think it
Sure.
just makes more sense.
I could see that. Yeah, and like I would agree. I kind of like what these kind of movies did, where like Dick and Starfire were kind of like the like leaders, like they were the like mentors, the old part of the team, and then we have all these new guys that we can. So it's still the like Teen Titans, but they can kind of do their own thing as this younger group of people. Thoughts on, because we have no word if there's going to be a Justice League by this point. Like we're getting a Teen Titans movie prior to there being a Justice League. Is that something that you're upset about, or because like I've seen a lot of people being like, "This is stupid. This is dumb." Are you okay with having a Teen Titans prior to like a Justice League movie?
Oh, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't care. Why are people so needy? Like, if we're getting a Justice League movie, if we get a Justice League movie after this, I don't care. At least we got a Justice
Yeah.
League movie. Like, I'm sure James Gunn is planning a Justice League movie. There's
Yeah.
no possible way he is not.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
But
just wondering.
I see him seeing the Justice League as the culmination of everything. Like, that's your golden bullet. The Justice League is.
Yeah, at the end of
Like,
your chapter
so,
1. Yeah.
and they don't know how this is going to go from like the very beginning. So I think it's smart holding Justice League off right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair. I'm just curious, just like the world of here. Like, is there already going to be a Justice League formed in universe? We just don't have a movie yet, or are they just formed prior to the Justice League, which I don't think is unheard of. Like, I don't think that's like a deal breaker for like the Teen Titans or anything. I'm just curious how it all works, because I've heard people say, well, maybe you have a Kid Flash here, which I think would be smart. I think that'd be a fun way to like introduce the world of the Flash a bit, like through the eyes of Wally, and then you can do Barry.
And Wally is
We'll
just
see.
such a good character onto himself, man.
He's
Like,
really cool. Yeah.
there's like so many elements about Wally that I like more than Barry, but I love both of them.
Yeah.
Wally was also the Flash I grew up with because of the original Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. So, and in a lot of ways, Wally kind of is my Flash, and we haven't seen him on big screen yet. So that would be cool to get.
Yeah, I think they should focus on your Wally. I think that'd be the smart way to do. Like, not to say you can't also have Barry here, but like I want to see the Kid Flash journey with him. Like I want to see him start as Kid Flash and then get to become the Flash. Like I think that'd be really sick to see. But yeah,
yeah, because I mean they could do like a whole thing with that. Like they could actually kill off Barry Allen in that instant.
Yes.
And Wally could take his spot as the Flash, take the mantle, and they could follow a lot of what the comics did.
Yes.
And I feel like James Gunn probably wants to do that because he respects the source material. So
yeah. I mean, I think that'd be a really fun kind of like ending to chapter 1 is like the death of Barry Allen. Like he sacrifices himself, and then through chapter 2, we have to see like Wally pick up that mantle and have to like live up to that. I think would be a really fun journey just to follow. I'm trying to think, just like villain wise, I'd be down with like a Deathstroke if you could do something different with him. Like something that we haven't seen. I mean, live action wise, we really haven't. Outside of the Arrowverse and like Titans, we haven't had a movie Deathstroke really, so I'm down with it.
We haven't had one. We got teased one, but we never got one.
So upset about that. I would have loved to have seen that.
I know, we got blue balled so bad.
Maybe Trigon if you want to go that route. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just not into Trigon. Like,
yeah,
I'm not into him, but.
I feel like maybe that's like movie 3, like build up to Trigon, build him up as this massive like Thanos level. Honestly, Trigon can't even be like Justice League if you really wanted to, like this crossover movie where they had to team up.
Definitely,
that'd be kind of cool. I mean, I'd be even down for like a Blackfire. Like Blackfire always gets like the like undercut, right? He never it feels like she never gets that time to shine.
If this is part of like their first phase that's called Gods and Monsters, I could maybe see it being Trigon though.
That's a good point. I mean, maybe like we were saying, maybe we end with him. Like he's the final big bad of this arc. I'd be kind of okay with that.
I don't know, because I've had this theory that maybe like Paradise Lost, that the Wonder Woman prequel show, or maybe like a Wonder Woman movie that I think a Wonder Woman movie has to be in the cards for phase 1. There's no way they're doing a Batman Superman movie and not a Wonder Woman. There's no possible way. And they got a Supergirl movie too. There's no way there's not a Wonder Woman movie. Maybe the title is spoilery or whatever. Maybe that's why they haven't announced it yet. But I feel like Hades might have some involvement somewhere along the line. So like if they do Hades, I don't know if they do Trigon too, because they're both just the devil, basically. It's like, hey, here's Satan. Hey, here's Satan, but it's Raven's dad.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it is crazy. The only somewhat grievance I have with them announcing this now is I was kind of hoping they were going to wait a little bit to announce any more projects, because at this point we have 13 DCU projects that are coming up that we haven't, like, that none have come out yet. We have 13 upcoming projects. I kind of wish that, because I think the MCU is in a weird spot currently where there are so much that's like been out there for years and years and years, and we don't see any of them for like 5, 6, 7 years. I was kind of hoping that they would have just let that first 11 sit before we got any new stuff coming, but I'm happy it's coming. I'm very excited for it. Maybe this gets fast tracked. Like maybe this comes out within the first like 8 projects or so. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm not sure, because they've already changed the order of some things, right?
Yes. I think Supergirl was like the 5th or 6th, and now I'm thinking it might be like the 3rd or 4th. So I think Peacemaker got moved up. Yeah.
Yeah, Peacemaker is like, I think Peacemaker's right after Superman Legacy, and Waller is after Peacemaker now. So that's really interesting to me.
Yeah, I'm so wondering, because
and Peacemaker season 1 is not canon.
Yes, that's what we had talked about.
It's canon to the past universe, so that's interesting as well. But didn't James Gunn say something like a lot of things that happened in season 1 still happen in the DCU? There's just like things that obviously were connected with the past universe that those things didn't happen. So I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of things you can piece together, like what is staying and what is not, right? Or what was part of this universe and what was not, everything like that.
Yeah, I'm so curious if they're going to like explain any of it, or if they're just going to be like, nah, it's just here now and like deal with it. So it's like, oh, okay, whatever. We'll see. We'll see.
Like the parts that aren't in this universe, like Peacemaker just dreamed or something like that.
Sure. Yeah, like we've talked about a lot on this show about like maybe Peacemaker like falls through the multiverse and he knows about the past universe, but like no one else does type thing. Like that could maybe be an option, but
Bro, James Gunn is insane though, because he said he's going to direct some episodes of Peacemaker while he's directing Superman Legacy, while he's overseeing this entire freaking thing.
Yeah.
This man's a madman.
Yeah.
How do you have enough hours in the day, James?
Yeah, I'm wondering, because again, that's been something that our friend Connor was kind of like, I'm not sure if this is going to work. And I'm like, that's fair, but I also want to see, like, maybe it does work. Like, maybe he somehow pulled it off and they're all just amazing. And I think it's actually very smart to have your hands in it, in like everything right now. Just to
That's what I was thinking too, because like I kind of get why he's going to be involved in like obviously Superman Legacy. It's the first movie. It's Superman, right. And then he's going to direct some of Peacemaker. Well, that's the show that you're keeping from the past universe. So there's going to be like things that need to be explained there. There's no one better to explain it than the dude that's overseeing this whole thing. Yeah. So like, yeah, I'm sure he's just kind of there right now to put the pieces in place, and he'll slow down once they're there.
Yeah. Like once this first kind of roster of stuff comes out, I assume once we kind of get the backup of chapter 2, he's gonna be able to sit back a little bit and be that kind of vision board for everyone. Be like, you're over here, you're doing this thing, and you're doing this thing. And I also think once you get like, because we're always like we're getting these directors in certain spots, so then they're going to be like, okay, this director gets to focus on this franchise, this director gets to focus on this franchise, this on this franchise, so like he can have all these pieces in place, and then going forward kind of do whatever you will with them. But I'm very curious to see, like, I think this is going to be a big project. Like, I think this is going to be like a big like project for them as far as the characters that you can introduce. So many, again, like Blue Beetle, I think this is a perfect spot to put him at, just kind of have him chill with like your Beast Boy and stuff like that. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, I agree. I think Blue Beetle fits perfectly here. Mm-hmm. You could also throw him in the Booster Gold TV show. So there's places Beetle fits for sure.
I would definitely agree with that. Alrighty, we're gonna be moving on to our next topic here. Prior to jumping into this, have you been keeping up, or I guess have you seen that new Winnie the Pooh movie, the Blood and Honey? Have you been keeping up with what's been going on with that film?
No.
Okay, cool. So that came out last February or March or something. That had come out, and it made a lot of money. It
made a lot of money.
It was like a $1 million budget, and they made like 10 million. So like they made like like 30 million or something. Like they made a lot of money. It didn't make a lot of money, but like for their budget, it did a lot. So since then, they had announced obviously the sequel and a bunch of these spin-off projects within the universe of Blood and Honey. And yesterday, or like the day before, we had got details on the future of what they are dubbing the Pooniverse. So we have an entire slate here for the upcoming Pooniverse franchise has been revealed. I kind of want to go through these just really, really quickly, and ask you how unhinged this entire thing is. So we had Blood and Honey, which already came out. We had the sequel to Blood and Honey, and the next up here, I guess that's going to come out this year, I don't know, is Bambi the Reckoning, which is a movie about Bambi going after his mother's killer to get revenge, is what we've heard. Do you like Bambi as like a movie? Have you seen it?
I don't care about Bambi. I've always joked that the best part of Bambi is when the mom gets shot, so yeah. Maybe she's coming after me.
Oh no! Run, Ryan, run!
Oh, I love that Batman mug, by the way.
Thank you. I kind of think this is a fun concept. And I mean, there's even been bits about it. Like there's that bit where like the Rock is playing the Bambi and he's going after the killer. Like it's been a joke for a while. I don't know. I mean, I didn't like Winnie the Pooh because I thought like, I don't know, it just goes against everything that Winnie the Pooh stands for. and as a fan of like the Winnie the Pooh character, I always hated that. But I thought some of these on this list were kind of interesting. So next up we have Peter Pan, which is a I I always liked the idea of that because I think Peter Pan is inherently dark. In his origins, he would kidnap children and like steal their souls. Like Peter Pan is a character that feels like it could be that like freaky franchise. And then they had said just like, oh no, it's actually about like Tinkerbell getting high and killing people. It's like, I feel like you're going the wrong direction here. But whatever, it's okay. And this wasn't, we didn't know about this previously. We have Pinocchio Unstrung, which is a very silly title.
These titles, man.
Pinocchio Unstrung. Whatever that means. I guess he's gonna. I can't even imagine what Pinocchio is gonna do. Like how does he go evil? What's is he gonna kill people with his long nose?
Is he not a puppet anymore?
I guess he's going unleashed.
Oh man, I don't know why I'm thinking of the Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack now. I don't know if you ever watched that show, but it was incredible. Yeah. It was incredible. They lived inside a well, and yeah, like the intro was them as puppets or whatever, and that's what made me think of that.
Yeah.
Great show. You should watch it, kids. They don't make kid shows like they used to.
I've heard interesting things about that show.
It's so weird, dude. It's so crazy. It's insane that it was a child show.
I've heard crazy.
Kind of like Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Bro, that show's creepy, man.
Darker. Courage is darker, man. Courage the Cowardly Dog is like the darkest child show ever. And it's all based on like a true story or whatever.
Yeah. And then last week we have Monsters Assemble, which apparently brings all the characters from all the previous ones and puts them in one movie, like an Avengers movie.
Oh my god.
I mean, like, do you have any opinions on just this entire concept of just these like weird Grimtale Disney properties doing this like MCU slate? Like, is it like, what's your thoughts on it?
I literally don't care about any of this. Like, I don't know. I don't have any interest with it to begin with. So making a slate of it just, I don't know. It makes. I don't want to be like disrespectful towards it because it's still like art that people are creating, whatever you may think of it. But yeah, it's kind of silly.
Sure. No, that's fair. I kind of like. Again, I hated Pooh. Like, I thought that first movie, it was bad. It was a really bad movie. But, like, I hated hating on it because, like, they were like film students. Like, they weren't this, like, it got popular just because how absurd it was and because they were the first ones to do this, like, Winnie the Pooh thing. And then they got all this money because it was so, like, absurd and people wanted to go see it and stuff like that. And now they're doing an entire franchise. And I think just because of that, I can respect it a little bit. Like, it feels just like film students having fun and making this like absurd franchise and just having fun. I don't know if I will see these, but I respect it. Like I kind of want to see their like final film though. Like I'm like, what does a like cinematic universe crossover look like with like Bambi and Winnie the Pooh and like Pinocchio? Like what is that? Like who are they fighting? I've heard people say like Steamboat Willie, like Steamboat Willie's the villain.
Oh, maybe you should do like a watch along or something with that one.
Yeah,
like with the ultimate culmination of it all.
Sure. Yeah, I don't even know what that looks like, but I'd be very curious to kind of see what they're cooking over there at whatever. And like I like again, like I hope they make money. Like I hope these young like filmmakers can do this journey. And then they have enough money to do like serious films, like do like proper films, and that's how they get their start. I think that'd be great for them. I think that'd be cool. Daniel in the chat said Wednesday pipeline this week and this week only. Yes, a special time. Yeah, let's hop into our we have I think we got 2 more stories here. And these are some and like this is some MCU stuff. So I'm very curious where like on the scale of the MCU, are you kind of keeping up with it? Or are you kind of like, eh?
I have not been keeping up with it since like No Way Home.
That's fair. We're gonna be talking about some shows here really quickly though. The Ironheart and Wonder Man shows are still planning on being released, says Brad Winderblum. Hope that's how you pronounce his name. So there's been a real interesting conversation with like the TV shows. I'm not sure how much you've heard about what they're doing on their TV side of things. They've recently have come out. They've been kind of taking a bit of a pause. There's been a lot of rumors about maybe shows getting canceled, shows that were made have not coming out. Ironheart was done like 2 years ago, and we haven't had anything with it. They've also have been like, we're going to be making shows better. Like we're now having showrunners, we're now having show Bibles, we're now kind of making shows the way it should have been done in the first place. Are either of these projects things that you would have watched or would have any interest in whatsoever?
No. I didn't know either of these were a thing.
Okay.
So I've heard of Ironheart. I had no idea Wonder Man was an actual character in Marvel Comics. So, I don't care about any of this.
Yeah,
bro, I'm kind of tired of the whole Iron thing. Like, let Iron Man die, bro. Let it breathe for a minute. Stop bringing it up every other project, man. Just let him die in peace. Let him rest in peace, man. Like, at least for a few years, before they start bringing like all of his innovations and stuff back. Like, I don't know. Which I guess they still haven't like really moved forward to the whatever the next Avengers is anyway. We don't even know what the team is. So yeah, they've kind of been in a little sputter the last few years.
I loved Ironheart as a character. Like what we've seen from her so far. I thought she was a really strong character, and I'm excited to see more of her.
Ooh, what was she in?
Black Panther 2.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I really enjoyed her there. She is one though where like, again, I never want shows to get canceled, but it is one where like, hey, if you could cancel one of these projects, Ironheart would probably be one of them if I had to, just because I don't necessarily think she needs an entire project just to herself. Not saying it can't be good. I think it might be really cool, but it is a weird one. And also it's just so many years since the movie has come out already. Like, again, it was done back in like 2022, and now it's not looking to come out until 2025. Like, it's kind of just been spinning on its tracks for a while. But I'm glad to know that they're still coming out. They're not canceling it. They're not like Batgirling it. That's, I think, the good thing. I think that's your last. Like, I don't think you should ever do that. As far as Wonder Man,
pain.
As far as Wonder Man, I'll be honest, I don't know Wonder Man. I just don't know him. I don't know
who does,
which is cool. Which is really cool. I want to know I want them to do projects on characters I've never heard of. So then hopefully I can love them. That's amazing. That's what Guardians did. That's what Shang-Chi did. So many MCU characters that I love have done that. So that's amazing. I'm very shocked that it's still happening though. I'm very, very shocked that I thought this was for sure going to be one of them that we weren't going to get, that they were going to kind of throw off to the side. So we'll see. We'll see. But good buddy Taj Reacts in the comments said, Ironheart should have had like an hour special instead of a show. I would agree. I think those like specials, I wanted them to do more of those. I felt like they did 2 and they were both great, and then they just never did them again. So I don't know. Would have been cool, I thought. And he also said Wonder Man has a history with Scarlet Witch, so maybe Scarlet Witch will make a cameo in that show. I don't know.
I'm wondering how they're gonna handle, all the X-Men stuff with Scarlet Witch.
I've been wondering that too. Yeah, I think they might retcon stuff. Maybe post Secret Wars, they might be like, "You're a mutant now," and Quicksilver.
You're a mutant. Magneto is your father.
No,
this is.
It can't be true.
It's like, look, Days of Future Past. This movie is canon to the MCU now. This is how Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver got from that timeline to this timeline. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be cool to like reinvent her into the X-Men world. I think I'm just so excited for X-Men stuff, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to get done with this phase and move on to the X-Men stuff. Not that I'm not excited for this current phase, but I'm excited for just.
Man, that's all I one at this point as the X-Men. Like, come on. Which I know right now they can't like recast characters.
Yeah.
So that's a big reason we haven't gotten a lot of it. When can they recast?
It's 2025 apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next year.
Yeah. I think they've actually been doing a really smart job of how they're doing the X-Men. Like I think they're doing a because like again they can't do it to a certain point, but I think kind of waiting to after Secret Wars is smart. I think how they like they're doing your Deadpool 3, I think that is smart. I think doing your Miss Marvel in that way, that's smart. I think 97 is brilliant because it's like we can't do more X-Men movies, but here's some X-Men content to hold you over until we can. Like I think that's all very smart.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Fox properties they acquired that save the MCU if anything does, though. But that's personally what I'm most excited for is X-Men and Doctor Doom, because Doctor Doom is like, well, after Magneto, my two favorite Marvel villains are ones they got from Fox. That's kind of ironic looking back at that.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Green Goblin is my third favorite Marvel villain. It's kind of crazy that Marvel doesn't have any of their freaking villains. They don't own any of my favorite ones, or they didn't.
Right. Yeah, I can't see them doing like Green Goblin a second time. I would be shocked if we do another one.
I would have liked to see their own take on Green Goblin, but I mean, if you're gonna take a version of Green Goblin, William Dafoe all the way, man.
Yeah,
William Dafoe's top 5 actor for me. Love him.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have seen their own version, but I'm not upset with what they did because I think like that version in that movie is some of my favorite that we've seen of that character. Like
William Dafoe as Green Goblin in
No
Way Home might be my favorite MCU villain. It's not even MCU original villain.
I love the entire like building fight scene. He's like slamming him through the building. That's just some of the coolest stuff the MCU's
Oh my god, yeah, it was so awesome.
It's so good.
It kind of felt like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Like it felt like that Green Goblin is like, yes, this is something that would happen in one of those movies.
Yeah. I agree. And then lastly here, a Nova film is rumored to be in the works, according to Brad Winderbaum, same guy for the last time. Yeah. Now, I'm saying rumored because apparently this is official. That this is official now, but I'm gonna wait.
I'll say that I'm looking forward to this more than the two shows.
Yeah, I'm kind of taking this with a grain of salt until I hear something from Kevin Feige himself, because again, Brad is at Marvel. He's working on all these projects. He does have a say, but I'm just waiting to see like a slate or something to be like, Nova, come in, blah, 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 whatever. Because we've heard about a Nova film for years. That's been rumored for like 5-6 years now. Like right after Endgame, we had heard a Nova movie was coming. I was like, okay, cool. I'll wait for that to get officially announced though. Just anything. I like Nova. I feel like I don't know a lot about him now. Like I feel like it's just like the occasional stuff I've seen him in over the years.
Yeah, same. Like I started watching Ultimate Spider-Man not that long ago, and he's in a lot of that. So
he is. Yeah, that's primarily where I know him from, and like the White Tiger, right? And that whole
White Tiger. Luke Cage is in an Iron Fist.
Yeah,
it's a lot of characters. Dude, Wolverine was like, I wish he showed up more. He was like the best extra character in that show.
Yeah. Man, that was such a weird show, but I kind of loved it as a kid.
Bro, my favorite episode was probably the one where Spider-Man and Wolverine switch bodies, and it's so early on. It's like season 1, episode 10, and it's the best. It's the funniest. If you're gonna watch any episode of that show to see if you like it or not, it's called Freaky. Check it out.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it has like it's very like unique as far as like Spider-Man shows. Like I feel like there's no other one quite like that one.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised, to be honest, because I've only seen, before that, I had only seen Spectacular Spider-Man and Spider-Man the Animated Series, and I really like both of those. But yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man's pretty good.
Sure, that's fair. I am kind of interesting to hear, as final thoughts on this film. Like, so there's a big talk about Marvel currently, and a big thing Marvel is doing is that they've said they're going to be taking less risks as far as the things that they're making. They're starting to scale back, make less risks, focus on more sequels, and projects like your Ant-Man 4, your Captain Marvel 3, some of these movies that they're like, we're not going to be doing sequels to a lot of these things. I do think Nova's a risk as far as like the uncertainty of it all.
Isn't that part of filmmaking though?
It is
risk.
It is. I would agree. I think, and I think a lot of people are like
you
celebrating.
You can't really move forward without taking risks. Like you're gonna get yourself stuck if you don't ever take a shot. You know.
I agree. I think that's why Marvel has done so well is the risk. Iron Man was a risk. Guardians was a risk. The Ant-Man as a character is a risk, and I think that's what makes it so good is these like not low characters, but like these not as popular characters, giving them a shot, and that's what makes it work. I can understand for the time being scaling back and just focusing on a couple of things right now to get your feet back on the ground, to get things situated, because Marvel's been in a very weird spot these last couple of years, so I get that. But I do think in the process of that, not forgetting you need to take some risks, not knowing, hey, maybe do a Nova film, hey, do a whatever, like Shang-Chi was a risk, and I loved Shang-Chi. So I hope this is happening. I hope it's a real movie. I don't know if this would be pre-Secret Wars or post-Secret Wars, where this would fit on the timeline. But I'm for it.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Noah to tell you where it could even fit in the timeline, because I don't even know what other characters he's like got a lot of history with or whatever in the comics.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has some history with the Guardians. So
that's what I would assume, because he's like a space guy, cosmic hero.
Yeah, that'd be kind of a cool way to market it, like not a Guardians sequel, but maybe you have a couple Guardians characters just in there as for like 10 to 15 minutes for all the trailers and stuff. So maybe like Rocket's in the trailer or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of fun. But yeah, let's kind of jump into our main thing though, which is X-Men the animated series. Everyone's again not favorite, but like everyone's. I don't know. I feel like this is a lot of people's favorite. I didn't really know how to like go into it, but like again, we talked about
my favorite.
Is it your favorite show? Your favorite show of all time?
No.
It's better than all the Batmans. It's better.
You're not the boss of me. No, I'm singing the Malcolm in the Middle theme song because it's the best song ever. It's the best show ever. I already screwed up. Damn. Yeah, Malcolm in the Middle. So that's no, Batman the Animated Series is the best show ever. But something X-Men the Animated Series has in common with that, in my opinion, is they both hold up extremely well.
It does. I was a little, I wouldn't say nervous, but I was a little weary kind of jumping into it now. 2024.
I definitely was.
It's like, does this hold up? Is this still? And I think the answer to that would be different for each person. Like, does it still hold up? I think some of it does. It is aged a little bit, right? There is, especially when it comes to like its dialogue, the way it looks. It is, you can tell it is an older show, but I feel like its storytelling has held up very well and is still scarily, like it's still like really scary, like relevant to now. The storylines that they're telling in 97, 94, right? It's still relevant now. And it's like, that shouldn't be the case. We should have moved on from a lot of these like problems that we're dealing with then. And it's like it's this constant circle, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could watch shows from like 100 years ago, hundreds of years ago. Well, as long as they've been making TV, like,
yeah.
and still see that we have some of the same problems we did.
Yeah,
and it's just that reflection. It's kind of upsetting. Like why can we not move forward? And like the X-Men are very political in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean there's a whole section of like the internet currently where like the X-Men's woke now. Why did they make X-Men woke? It's always been woke.
They were like, literally created as a response to the civil rights movement.
Like it's so woke. It was the first to do woke. Like it's so crazy to me that that's an opinion. You had a like
look at all these characters that are getting discriminated against because they're mutants.
That's the whole point. Yeah, it's really crazy. Again, I think they do, and they don't shy away from any of it. They really, and that's what I really appreciate about like 90s cartoons. Not to say that our cartoons
It's awesome to see that, like, especially these comic book like
Yeah.
cartoons, like, because obviously comics weren't really meant for children. So seeing that, like, they held so much respect to the source material and
Mhm.
didn't water it down for children watching, it gives you a lot of respect for what they were doing back then.
Yeah.
Because, like, this Batman the Animated Series, they both do it extremely well. Like, they don't shy away from very adult themes, and, like they do it in a way that it makes sense to kids, can make sense to kids, but there's some stuff that's, like, so deep that they'll probably not understand it until they're older, and that
Oh,
just adds a whole 'nother layer to the show, though.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
There are
Like, if
so
I had seen this as a kid, I'm sure I would've liked it, but I would not have been able to appreciate it to the level I did watching it as a 24-year-old.
fully. No, like, fully, and, like, there's episodes that are so dark, like, just the way these characters
Yeah.
talk to each other, the way they treat each other,
Oh my god,
it's
dude. The rivalry between Wolverine and Sabretooth, dude, you can smell the hatred. It is awesome.
yeah, it's I don't know, like, and again, like,
Like,
I
when oh,
these
yeah.
are the, like, the tones of shows that I loved growing up on. Like, I loved when you could treat your children, and not to say if you don't have this tones, they're bad. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But I loved being able to feel like I was being treated not as just a kid, but like these were stories that kids can watch, but they're not treating them like they're kids. I think that's always like Young Justice and Ben 10 and Justice League and those type of shows I loved so much
Oh,
growing up because like
Young Justice, such a good shout.
it's so sad. Wally's death. I how did I watch that as a kid? How did that happen?
I can't remember if I cried or not when I watched that as a kid. I don't think I did, but looking back, I'm wondering how I didn't.
Yeah, and it's again, I love the serious storylines. Like these are again, these are lessons that I feel like we should be sitting these grown men down and being like, listen to these lessons, understand them because you'll need them. You didn't watch this so clearly growing up because you didn't learn these lessons to be just a decent human being. It's crazy. Um But yeah, I mean, there's that Beast episode. Like that Beast episode's one of my favorite episode where like he can't treat that patient because
Oh
they're
my
Asian,
god, yes! I was thinking
and
of that. The blind patient
yeah, and there's that scene where
episode,
he's
the
like, "Who
romance
am
between the
I?
2.
What's the point of my life?" Like I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
"Oh my gosh, this
The
is so deep."
Yeah. The father's response to him, like, "I will not have a mutant working on my daughter. Like, you are not gonna be here tomorrow. She's not going to get that surgery if you're gonna be the one doing it." And how she's crying knowing that he won't be there, like, "I wanted it to be you." And then, like, it comes out that, like, she already knows he's a mutant. She already knows, like,
Yeah,
he doesn't have natural human skin. She doesn't care about any of that, though. She's
yeah,
not like her father. And she loves what she sees once she gets the surgery and can see, and she's
yeah,
more so thrilled that she gets to see him on that
yeah.
day, and it's so beautiful.
It's yeah, it's a gorgeous storyline. I that's probably my favorite episode from the show, I think. And it again, it takes no punches. It just tells its stories. It's not like this is a kids show and you can do blah blah blah. And I bet there was some stuff they couldn't do and stuff like that. But like, it doesn't feel like it. Like it feels like they're just telling these stories with these characters. And I think it's such like a great like introduction to again these characters. Like I didn't watch all of it as a kid, but this was my introduction to like Wolverine and Jean and Rogue and all these characters growing up. And I think they do a really good job at that. Like, it definitely has, and it's somewhat a grievance at times because I do feel like since it is a Saturday morning show, you have to have the thing where each episode they start at the beginning with most of the characters. Like a lot of these characters don't get a large amount of room to grow because they have to start back at that point A. But I think there is definitely a charm to that. There is definitely like something very charming to it.
Yeah. One of my favorite episodes is actually, like,
Mm.
super early on in the show, season
Go ahead.
1, and, it's when Wolverine's in Canada and Sabretooth, like, tracks him there, and they find this it's like something identical to some stuff that's happened in the comics, so I feel like that's why I
Yeah.
really like it, but, like, Wolverine comes to this camp and, he's enjoying himself, and then Sabretooth, like, finds this other guy that Wolverine made hate him by just being awesome, just being an awesome guy, and the tribe's like, yo, Wolverine, we love you, and that other guy's like jealous and bitter. He's like, ugh, Wolverine. And then he runs into Sabretooth. He's like, oh no. And Sabretooth's like, yo, where's Wolverine? He's like, I hate Wolverine as much as you do. So he leads Wolverine away from the camp, and Sabretooth just burns it down. And like when I first saw that, I'm like, oh my God, Sabretooth just literally murdered everyone in this village, and they're showing that in a children's cartoon. And then, of course, you see everyone still alive like 5 minutes later, but they let that moment sit where like you kind of believe that. I'm like, oh man, they're really going for it. The 90s were wild, man. And then they're like, nah, just kidding. We can't actually kill everyone.
Well, I mean, Sabretooth would. Like, that's such a Sabretooth thing to do.
Yeah, like, if you know those characters and, like, moments like that, you can kind of tell what they were going for and what they couldn't do because it wouldn't get past censors.
Oh, and
yeah, no, you very much get the message that it's sending.
Yeah, and like, we've been watching through, like, the films over on, like, your channel, and let's, like, in comparison to what this kid's show was doing and then what the movies did, it's like, how'd you screw up some of these things so much? Like, they had 20 minutes per episode. They had, probably limits because it was a kid's show, and yet the movies couldn't do. I mean, Sabretooth was done so dirty in those movies.
Like, I know, and he's so amazing in the show. Like,
in here.
I'm pretty sure I told you, like, immediately once I first started watching this, because there's a lot of Sabretooth in season 1. I'm like, dude, I already like Sabretooth more than I liked Sabretooth in any of the movies.
Right. It's crazy.
It's insane. Like, Sabretooth's such a good character, and you would not know that if all you know of him is from the movies.
Yeah. Fully. No, fully. The movies does a lot of these characters such a, like, injustice. And
it's insane how many X-Men villains there are and how many haven't even been in movies, because they're just always like, oh, Magneto. It's like, I mean, so Magneto is basically, this is what I compare Magneto to, like, in the sense of villainy. He's kind of like, to the X-Men, what Lex Luthor is to Superman. Like, he's kind of always got to be there, but he doesn't always have to be the main threat. Like, you give these other villains some shine. Like, I want Mr. Sinister in a movie, bro. I think Mr. Sinister is a very intriguing villain.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's insane that we've had 13 or 14 X-Men movies, and he's never been in one.
Nope.
Omega Red. Like, there's so much you could do with him. Like, Omega Red versus Colossus seems like a no-brainer.
Right.
But we've not seen Omega Red in a movie yet. I could see him showing up in a Deadpool sooner or later, though. Definitely. I feel like that'd be a good fit. But yeah, like, the X-Men have so many more villains, like, so many villains, and a lot that I wasn't even aware of growing up because, like, I hadn't seen this show or, like, any other animated show. I'd only seen the movies. But it's like, their rogues gallery is actually pretty crazy, and I'd put it up there, like Batman, Spider-Man are top 2, but, like, Superman, then the X-Men, and stuff like that. Top 10 rogues gallery, man. Like, they got some great villains.
Mm-hmm. And I love how, like, I think most of our villains are always so fascinating, because, like, with the X-Men, there isn't necessarily always a right side and a wrong side. Like, each side kind of has their own views. It'd be like, yeah, I can see why you're like this. Like, Magneto, I think, is such an interesting character because I feel like I could agree with him on a certain day. Like, he's not always the villain. Like, in some ways, I'm like, Charles, I'm not sure if you're right in this situation. Maybe he is right here. And I think that's what makes these storylines so different. Because, like, with the X-Men, I don't know if I would side with them always. Because, like, I don't know. I don't know if I would want a man to be able to lift my house with his mind. Like, that's insane power. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? So, and again, I think the way, again, that they can tell these stories to children is always very impressive. That I love. Crazy. But yeah, I would say now it's going to be a fun time to kind of jump into our character ranking here. So how we normally do our character ranking is we both talk about each character a little bit, and we'll have to side on which place that we wanna put it. So maybe if you say S and I say B, we put it in A type of thing. Okay. Let me zoom in a little bit. Hold on.
Let's say I can.
Okay, is that better? Can you see it better?
Okay, yeah, I can see it. All right.
Alrighty, so first up here we have Beast, with that Howard the Duck shirt, which is a pretty fun reference. What's your thoughts on a Beast?
Beast is awesome in this show. I love him. He's probably not my favorite character, but he's like definitely top 5, I'd say. I couldn't imagine the show without him. So yeah. I mean, I think he's S tier.
I would say S tier.
I feel like there's gonna be a couple of these next S tier, but I mean, come on, man, it's the X-Men.
Yeah, I think I've always loved Beast. I always think he's such a strong character. It's that like moral compass character that you love, and you just want to like give him a big old hug and just kind of cuddle up with him. No, and again, like just that, like some of my favorite stuff on the show has been with Beast. Like I loved the entire first season. He's just in prison.
Yeah,
and he's just like he's just hanging out there, being like,
and he refuses to break out. Like, there's an episode where who did they broke someone out, and they were like, "Yo, Beast, you want to come with us?" He's like, "No, I'm staying here for my hearing. You guys have a great night."
So good. He's such a fun character. And in '97, like he was one of the voices that I had a slight harder time being like, okay, it sounds a little bit different now, but that's okay because his voice is so soothing. You love hearing this actor's voice play that character. So I would also say that he's an S. I think he's probably either my favorite or my second favorite character, because there's some, I don't know. I've loved Beast. All right, next up here we have Bishop. Bishop, right? Bishop.
Yeah.
Bishop. Okay. That sounded right, but I was like, wait, is that not it? No, yeah, it is. It's Bishop.
I miss his long hair. I'll say that. He's better with long hair than with short. I'm upset that he didn't grow his hair back for X-Men 97. But look, I'd say long hair Bishop is an A and short hair Bishop is a B. So
okay. You really liked his hair.
I mean, look, it just makes him look a badass. Okay,
that's fair. I like Bishop.
Also very 90s. Come on, how could you get that stuff cut off in 97, man? You're not even close to the 2000s yet.
I think I like Bishop. I've liked him in all the episodes that he's been in. The show did a lot more time travel than I thought it was going to do. Like they had like two a season. I was like, oh my gosh, we're doing it. Yeah,
because there was the Days of Future Past where he went back to stop. Well, at the time he thought it was a Gambit from killing Senator Kelly, but it turned out to be Mystique, of course. And then like the next season, Cable goes back to that same time to stop Bishop because what Bishop did screwed up the future for him. So he's like, well, I gotta stop Bishop from doing this. So
he's always just trying to fix
the future that he created.
He's always poor guy. Like he's just always.
Then there's that great time travel episode where what's his name? Fitzroy and Bantam, they go back to kill Professor X, and then like it completely ruins the future. Like the world basically ends.
Right.
And they're like, and the X-Men are like, oh crap. Yo, you cannot kill Professor X because it's gonna screw everything up. He cannot die in the year 1959. He's got to die later on down the line. He's got to create the X-Men. His inspiration. He got to spread all over. Then he can freaking die.
Right. I think I'd probably give Bishop like a B. I'm excited to see more of him in this new show because like he's good. I feel like he's, again, they're like 1 or 2 episodes a season. He goes away. Have they explained why he's in current day currently, or have they not gone into that in this new show?
Wait. I don't remember. I remember I think this was the end of season 4, wasn't it? Not season 5. Was he in present day in season 5 or no?
He appeared in I think it was. Actually, no, I think it was the end of season 4 was the last time I saw him. He was
the end of season 4 was like when he was on the Access of Time.
Yeah.
And Apocalypse is like taking over everything. And then he's like, oh, no one can stop me. And then Bishop's like, yo, I'm here chilling on the Access of Time. I'm just going to release all the psychics from these rotating mirrors you got them trapped in.
Right. I'm wondering if like they're going to do like a Backflash episode to explain kind of like when he joined the team and stuff like that. I'd be interested to see. But would you say A or B, or like where would you say?
I can agree with B. Like,
okay,
I
cool.
like Bishop, but as like, I'd rank most of the core team above him. So
yeah, I would agree with that. But again, I'm excited to really like get his character and them to do more with him in this upcoming series. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
I'm just gonna say this ahead of time. I don't know if there's gonna be a single D character, so I like a lot of X-Men characters.
We'll see. There might be one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know who's all this. So.
There, like, I added one character, just be like, maybe we'll have someone in D. We'll see. All right, next up we have Logan.
Just put him in the S.
He's an S, I think, exclusively to how much screen time he gets, because he's easily the most, like, they gave him like 20 Backlash episodes.
Yeah, he's the most focused on character. I mean, he's the most popular.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, he's great.
Especially at that time. He was like at peak popularity. Like, he was as popular as Spider-Man in Marvel. Yes. His popularity was crazy in the 90s and early 2000s.
Which is fair. He's very cool. I think he's always a lot of fun. He's always it's fun, just angry Logan. And, you know, like, there is
like how much they focus on his sense of smell and like how good he is as a tracker in like the animated show specifically, because I don't really remember that a lot in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they might do it every now and then, but they're not like, oh, this man is like a highly trained tracker. He can track anything. He's got quite the nose on him. Right. They're just like, yo, this is Weapon X. He's got metal claws. He fucks shit up.
Right. And like with it being a show, you can just go to all these different timelines with him and see like the different like eras of his life, which I think is something the movies tried to do, but I don't think they did that very well. So that's
that costume is so good, dude. His costume is like, he's got the best costume. Come on.
Really cool costume.
He's got the best. The cowl is so freaking awesome.
And I also love how like he's not the leader. Like, they give him a screen time, but also it's very
That's
clear
why I thought Wolverine and the X-Men was so interesting because of that, okay? Because I had never like seen Wolverine as the leader of the X-Men, and they put him like in this position where he kind of has to step up and be the leader because Charles is out of action. He's in a coma.
It's such a fun show.
We're not talking about that show, but you should definitely check it out if you haven't, for anyone watching or listening.
Yeah, I want to rewatch it.
So it got more than one season.
I'm so mad it got canceled. I waited for years. Man. As a kid, it's like, all right, season 1's not on Netflix. I can't wait for season 2 to come on, and it never did. That was so sad. But yeah, I think he's clearly an S tier. I think they do a really good job at him. Next up is Luandra, the space lady.
She gets introduced during the Phoenix saga, right? Because Professor X is like having visions of her or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, Moira McHaggard and Banshee are like, yo, Professor X going crazy. And the X-Men are kind of like, yo, Professor X is going crazy. He thinks this chick Lorena is real and stuff. And then she like appears and they're like, oh. Never mind. Charles, we shouldn't have doubted you. I don't remember a ton about her other than like her few interactions with Professor X, because she kind of just goes off on her own.
Right. I think she's fine. I think she's
I do too. I'd say C.
I was thinking that too.
I can't.
She's fine.
I don't think we can like put her with Bishop. That would kind of be discrediting Bishop for.
I agree. Yeah, I think I like Bishop a lot more. All right, next up is Mr. Sinister, the villain that you want in live action.
Yeah, I'd put him in the A tier.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I think
like him a lot.
Like, he's not. I don't think he's quite S tier, but I think like especially getting to see his origins inside the final season, I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was surprised how much you saw of him in the show.
They do.
He was the main villain of season 2.
Yeah, and they kept coming back.
Yeah, he kept coming back. I'm like, yeah, keep bringing him back. I love him. He's like, other than Magneto, he's probably the villain that's in it the most.
Maybe even more than him, because like I feel like he took a break for a while where he didn't appear for like a season and a half, and I was like, oh yeah, he's back finally.
Yeah,
and that might just because he was in so much of season 1. They're like, all right, let's give him a little bit of a break. And then in this new show, he's going to be like one of the main characters, which I'm very excited.
Wow, is Apocalypse not on this list?
He is. He's just down.
Okay, he is. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought this, okay. I'm noticing this is not alphabetical order now. I'm like,
no,
wait,
it's not.
We just did Beast and then Wolverine.
All right, Mystique, which
see, I have to factor in just this show.
Yeah,
because I want to just say S tier.
Yes, typically she's one of my favorite characters, and this show, I'm just like,
they do a lot of interesting things with her in this show.
Yeah,
she doesn't show up a ton though, but like, she's involved in like so many big storylines. Like she was Rogue's adoptive mother. She was Nightwing's Nightcrawler. Always do that. I always say Nightwing. Nightcrawler's biological mother. So like she had pretty deep ties there with two. Well, Nightcrawler wasn't super important in this show. So one very important character of this show. Rogue was in like almost every episode. I want to. You know what? I'm gonna say A.
Okay. I think I'm okay with A. I like her. I think I'm always hyped when she shows up, but I think that's more so on just what I know of her character and other stuff. Like I feel like the show itself, I never like. She's been amazing. Like, she was okay, and I hope she gets more in this new show. Yeah. Because I feel like since this show, she got really popular from the movies and some of the other shows as well. So I can agree.
I was thinking like A or B, but I like her more than Bishop. So.
Maybe. I mean, I like her in general. I'm just saying, like this show itself, I probably like Bishop more, but I'm totally
fair enough.
Her in it. Yeah, I totally. She's fine in A. That's fine with me. Next up we have Cyclops.
Just put him in S. I think he's an S tier character at least.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to S. I'm trying to think.
This is my favorite version of Cyclops that I've seen.
I really like. He's been really, really good here. I've really liked him. I think Cyclops always gets like the worst treatment. Like he's always just gets beat around for.
And it's so sad because he was like the first X-Men and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like I mean, I guess you could argue he is the quintessential X-Men. Like X-Man. I mean,
yeah,
your mind kind of would go to Wolverine just because he's the most popular, but like Wolverine's kind of a loner, even though he's part of the team. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I really I think he works as a really good leader character, and I think he kind of pulls the show. He's like the show's glue. I almost think, with just the role he has, and I think he's actually even going to be even better in this new show because that first episode. The first episode of this new show was some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen him do. Like,
I think this is in the trailer as well, so it's not like a very big spoiler. But like, much like Professor X used to say, "My X-Men," Cyclops says, "Come to me, my X-Men."
It was,
and they all gather around him, and it's awesome.
And everything, I don't want to spoil for like people who haven't seen it yet, but the scene leading up to that whole scene was so cool. I couldn't believe it. I'm fine with S, I think. I think I would personally put him in A because I don't think I like him as much as Beast and Logan, but I'm fine with S.
Oh, well, I don't like him as much as Logan, but I think I would put him above Beast just because I think he's in a lot more of the show than Beast is.
Okay, cool. I mean, like, we can look back around like once we're done with all of them and see if we'd move any, but yeah, that's fine for now. Next up we have Jean Grey.
See, I would put Jean in A.
I kind of haven't loved Jean in this show, I'll be honest. I
didn't love her either, but like season 3 is literally just her. It's her season.
Yeah. But then she's in nothing else, it feels like. Like, she feels...
Yeah, you're kind of convincing me here. I'm thinking maybe a B.
Yeah, I was thinking B too. She's the Mystique type character where I love her from other things.
I felt like I was gonna piss people off by saying A. I didn't want to go even lower. But yeah,
I
agree. I personally agree with that.
I think she's just a nothing character here, and like already in this new show, it feels like they are like retroactively making her a more interesting character, which I'm loving already. Here, she's just kind of like Scott's girlfriend that has powers for one season. Like, that's just how they wrote her here, which, again, I'm not blaming the show because that was kind of like the time that they had characters like that.
I feel like all I've ever thought of Jean Grey, and it sadly has not changed in anything I've seen ever, is like her power set is so extremely cool. Her character, I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah. I'm kind of just waiting for like the Phoenix stuff to happen, and then it happens. And it's like, oh, okay, now where?
Yeah, right. Like, cool.
I think it'd be better if we actually got to see them as
I kind of hate that always has to happen. Like it feels like all there is to Jean Grey is the Phoenix, and the Phoenix isn't even Jean Grey. She uses her as the host.
Yeah, and which I didn't really like how they did the Phoenix saga here. It felt like I feel like they could have done it stronger. I don't know.
I didn't love it either. I have not loved the Phoenix saga adapted to anything. The show, I mean, I liked it more in the show than I did in either of the movies. Because I felt
Wolverine and the X-Men.
So I found the Dark Phoenix stuff a lot more interesting than the actual Phoenix saga stuff in the show. Like with the Inner Circle, like Emma Frost, Sebastian Stan. I found that stuff interesting.
Yeah.
I never found Jean Grey herself that interesting.
Yeah, again, like I'm excited to see what this new show does with her because it feels like there is they're doing some really cool stuff with her this season.
I think I see that character you were talking about earlier.
We'll get there shortly, I guess. All right, we have Gambit. Good old buddy Gambit. I do love Gambit.
I love him too, but I'd put him in the A.
Okay. I would agree with that. He's not S tier for me, although I would put him above Scott, I think, in my personal ranking, which is fine.
I think I like him more than Scott, but I do not think he's a better character than Scott in any way.
I think he's a really fun character. Like I don't necessarily think like
it's just him and Scott are very different characters too, so they're kind of hard to compare.
Yeah.
Like, they're completely
just fun to watch, I think.
Opposites.
Yeah.
I will say I enjoyed Gambit and like Rogue's little like relationship back and forth way more than Scott and Jean. I found it way more fun.
Yeah, and I mean that is always such a fascinating storyline too. Just the idea. I mean we'll get to that when we get to that character, but like a relationship that you can't touch each other. Like, what does that look like?
I mean, I feel like that really like showcased the good in Gambit though. Like he is like putting himself out there for her, even though like he knows he can't really do anything. Like he's just expressing that people still care about you, Rogue.
Yeah,
and like there are people that would like to express that love to you, you know.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Like Rogue's whole situation just makes me kind of emotional sometimes because like when you put yourself in her shoes, do you know how difficult shit would be?
I
could not imagine.
I don't want to dive into it here, but I think Rogue is
we're kind of spilling our load.
Yeah. Gambit A, I would probably agree with then. Yeah. All right, next up we have Jubilee.
C. I don't care about Jubilee. She's fine. I mean, if you want to put her in D, I won't disagree. I don't care.
No, I'm definitely not D. I don't think I like.
I was gonna say I feel like that's a little too harsh, but
I'm debating between if I think B or C because I think she has.
I don't know.
I will say this, if this shows you anything, I've liked her more in this first episode of X-Men 97 than I did the entirety of the original run. Like
I still didn't really care for
her. It feels like because she couldn't evolve. Like Jubilee could never grow because she had to like consistently be I wanna be grown up like you guys. Why can't I just be on that was her every episode. And it got old fat. Like the first season, it was fine. By season 5, I was sick of it.
I swear, the only time I ever liked Jubilee is like her interactions with Gambit, because Gambit just like Gambit could like embrace his child side, his wild side, and like it just felt natural, like her around him.
Yeah, I can agree with C. I think, but again, I'm excited to like it because I really
like Wolverine and Jubilee's dynamic kind of
It's
cool
fun.
too. Like they kind of passed that off. Like I feel like what they did with Wolverine and Jubilee in this show is what they did that in the original X-Men trilogy, but instead of Jubilee, they had it be Rogue.
Right.
Like had Rogue be that kind of daughter figure in Logan's life.
Yeah. I think it's fun kind of having a kid there, like someone to like introduce the audience through. Like, yeah, we're introducing this team through her eyes, and I think that again that works. But I think it works very well in like the first episode. Like I think that's her at some of her best. But then it's like they don't know what to do with her for like the rest of the show. She won a fight like maybe twice in the all like 76 episodes or whatever. Like, yeah, she wasn't great.
Yeah.
I think C's works for her. Magneto.
Do we even have to say it?
I think he's one of the strongest characters. I think he's great.
So good, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
he's leading mutants to Asteroid M, and then when he gets betrayed by the Fabian Cortez dude, and like he thinks he killed Magneto, and he like takes over as ruler. Then Magneto comes back, and it's like, "Yo, you betrayed me," and like God, like, and everyone's like, "Oh shit!" And then he just takes everyone to Asteroid M. It was awesome.
He's such a, like, again, we had talked about this prior, but like I love villains like this. This like, yeah, we have to stop him, but like he's kind of right. Like he's not wrong in these situations, and you see where he's coming from, and like him and Charles are always so interesting, and Charles is always trying to help him be the best version of himself.
Understand.
Yeah,
completely. Like I see Magneto's side of 1000%.
Yeah.
I find myself agreeing with Magneto more often than Charles.
Yeah.
And I'm a human.
And like, no, fully. And like, you get Charles.
I'm like, Magneto, you are so right. Humans are never going to change. They're never going to accept you. Like, some people will, but no, not everyone ever will. There are some people that just will not accept that there are people different than them.
Right. And like, I don't mean to keep like gassing up this new show, but the second episode, man, he's so good with him, and I'm so excited for him to be almost be our new lead here because he's that guy, and I love.
I have not seen the second one yet.
Okay, so I'll zip, but I think it's almost him at his best in that second episode. So I think you're really going to like the second episode. So, he's easily S tier. I like him more than Scott. I think. I actually probably like him more than Logan.
I like him more than everyone.
Yeah, I think. I think I slightly like Beast more, but like he's probably the best written character here.
Yeah, I think he's the best X-Men character in general, and I think it translates to this show.
Yeah, they do a great job with it. Very curious where this next character is going to go. We got Morph.
I'm kind of. I feel like he's in a little more of it than Bishop is. Maybe.
Yeah.
Not,
well,
but I feel like he's in about the same as Bishop. Yeah. So I would put him in the B tier because I really think like that season 2 arc with Morph, like in season 1, he's like left for dead. That's the way he feels, and it turns out he was experimented on by Mr. Sinister, and like. That whole going crazy arc with him at the beginning of season 2 is like so incredible. I loved it. Agree. And like Wolverine trying to hunt him down and stuff, like Morph, we're friends, like open up to me, what happened? All that. And like Morph's just like, man, I gotta be alone, bro. Leave me alone, Logan. I love that whole thing though.
Yeah, I think Morph's one of my favorites. I think just unfairly of just like he's just a fun character to watch. I think he has one of the coolest power. Bro, the man is so overpowered. Like, he can just take anyone's power. He can look like anyone. He can use their powers. He can turn into animals. Like, I think he's one of the most powerful members here if he really wanted to be. And like my only, again, I have to only use what I know of him and not this new show to boost this up because I'm so excited that he's in the main intro now. He's an actual character now. You get to see more of him now. I think for me he would be an A, but I'm okay if you want to put him in B.
We put Mystique in A, so if you want to put him in A, we can put him in A.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man, this episode, like, he's just turning into all these other mutants. He's like Colossus and Angel, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, you're so powerful.
Yeah, dude, when I saw, like, I never knew that Mystique could, like, transform into animals until I was watching the animated X-Men shows. I'm like, "Wait, she can turn into animals?" I
Yeah,
didn't know
I
she just
was just humans,
turn
but,
into a
like,
bird and fly away.
I think shapeshifting is one of the coolest powers. Like, I
Oh, me too.
it's so like, if you can take other people's powers, that's
It's
like
up
the
there.
no yeah, that's like the, like, no-brainer power set. If I could use all
Like,
the other mutant powers, like,
I don't
that's
know, this is
insane.
how you that's the thing, this is how you know I'm a fucking nerd, but I could name, like, probably the 4 best superpowers off the top of my head are fucking super speed, teleportation, shape-shifting, and, I feel like I haven't spider sense would be fucking awesome, by the
That'd
way.
be
That
cool.
wasn't even one I was thinking of, but I forgot
Yeah.
what the other one oh, invisibility. Yeah, that would be cool. Or,
Mhm,
not just invisibility, but what's the, intangibility where you can, like, walk through stuff? Like Kitty Pryde,
mhm. Sure, that'd be cool.
but you can also be invisible, so, like, both. So, like, you're Miss Invisible, but you're also Kitty Pryde because you can just go through stuff.
Yeah. Alright, next up, we have
Uh,
Sabretooth.
I'm gonna say A.
Yeah, I'm fine with A. He's definitely not S for me, because I do think he's a little, like, he's just a fun villain. Like, I don't know if there's a lot there,
Yeah, he's not a
but, like,
super, like, complex character, but just,
yeah.
like, him and Logan, their rivalry alone is enough for me. Like,
Yeah,
he's
it's fun.
he's exactly what he needs to be. Not every character has to be a Magneto, you know, or, like, a Mr. Sinister and have, like, so much complexity and
Right.
such a backstory to them, you know?
He just wants to kill Logan, and that's kind of
Yeah,
the extent of it, and it's fun. It's
he
fun to
just
watch.
hates this guy.
Yeah.
He just purely hates this guy. And I mean, there's a lot of I don't know, like Wolverine and Sabretooth, their rivalry in a lot of ways is kind of similar to like Batman and Joker. Like it's kind of
Sure.
this good
It's
versus
like
evil.
a game. Yeah. And I
Yeah, and
Logan's
like the
always so much
game could
fun.
just end. The game could just end if Wolverine killed Sabretooth, but he will
Yeah.
not.
It's always so much fun to see Logan just have a temper tantrum at like anytime he smells Sabretooth and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
love
And like
I
half the time he wants to kill Sabretooth, and then Professor X is like, no, Logan. And he's like, what? What, Charles? Why? Why are you telling me not to kill this guy? You do not know him like I do. And he's like, Logan, he's a mutant. We look out for our own.
yeah.
And then like Sabretooth does some stuff, and Logan's like, yep, I told you so.
I love the scene where, well, I think it was in season 5 where there's the fake Sabretooth in there. It's like, I don't know who this is, but it's not Sabretooth. He doesn't smell like that. Like, that's so funny.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. Logan's like, this is not Sabretooth.
I know Sabretooth, and that's not him.
And it turned out to be Mystique, right? Or wait, I might
No, it
be
was it.
I'm thinking of something that happened in Wolverine and the X-Men now because she was disguised as someone.
It
I
was
don't
those
remember
like
who.
alien shape-shifting things. The like machinery alien thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, that they came from some planet because that one
Yeah,
thing. That one guy is like, "Yo, I'm friends with." He was just called friend or whatever. He just
yeah.
kept calling everyone
My
friend.
friend
He was like,
Beast or
"Yeah,
whatever.
I had a wife and I lost
Yeah,
her and I've been on deserted on Earth and they followed me here and they're gonna destroy everything." Was
yeah.
it Beast? It was Beast
It
because they
was
went to his lab.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's another. I've Beast made that episode. I
Beast
like
is
the
so
Beast
good.
episodes.
Yeah,
You know,
they're
I'm glad
always
we put him in the S tier.
yeah. Um, are we have Storm?
Oh, people might hate me.
Oh, uh-oh.
Where would you put her?
I I would Storm's always usually one of my favorite characters. I would typically put her in S, but they
S
don't
for
give
Storm.
I would don't give her enough. They don't give her content, and that bugs me. Cause
I would put her in the B tier. I feel like that's like you said. She like on paper, she's an S tier character.
Yeah.
Like she's an X-Men. Like you cannot have an X-Men without Storm.
Like she's so cool. The
But
like
oh, she became the Morlock Queen. That's like the thing I
yeah.
remember about her in this show. And that's sad.
She has they don't give her episodes, and I don't know if it's like the Times thing where like kids don't want to see.
And every time she has an episode, it's just against Shadow Thief or whatever his name is, the Shadow guy in Africa.
Yeah, I mean that was a good episode, but like
the Shadow Monster. What's his name?
I don't remember. That
Shadow King. Shadow King.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Like she had that episode, she had the like Morlock one, then she had that one in the final season where she goes, there's that the prince from the other land or whatever. It's like I'm gonna make you my wife, and it's like Storm, you should know better not to trust this weirdo. Like
oh yeah, that was so weird. Oh my god. Yeah, B.
Yeah,
I hate doing it.
Because I feel like I like Storm way more than I like Bishop and Jean. I think, but like
we can put her above those two. But
yeah,
I don't know if I'd put her above anyone that's in the A tier though, or like
right.
I know everyone in A is better in this show.
I think I like her a little bit more than some of A, but I'm fine with I'm okay with B. It's just like it's that Mystique problem where it's like I love her, but not necessarily what they did in her in this show. Like I feel I've seen much better with Storm.
Oh yeah, Mystique was like Apocalypse's servant, like in the first season. I was like, wait, this is weird. And then it's like, yo, she's Rogue's adopted mother, and yo, she gave birth to Nightcrawler.
Yeah, it's frustrating. But I mean, already in these. Well, actually, I won't spoil anything for the next episode because you haven't seen it. But she's been an all-star so far.
Oh, she's in the second episode?
She's Storm? No, yeah, Storm.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Mystique. Never mind.
No, what they did with Storm in episode 2 was insane.
Yeah, all I noticed in episode 1 was she had the haircut, and it reminded me of X-Men Apocalypse, which is like my least favorite X-Men movie, so that kind of made me sad. And
but even like the first episode, like she feels like a queen. Like they're finally making her as powerful. I think Storm should be because they really underpower Storm inside the show. I think, and I don't think that's always their fault because she's so powerful. It'd be like what?
I mean, I just wish she was more interesting in the show. I don't care about
the
power.
I mean, she has like tornadoes and she has thunder. Like she should be able to take out most villains.
Yeah, her powers are like cool all the time. Like,
yeah.
I wish her character was more interesting though.
Yeah, she just didn't get stuff to like do, which is very frustrating for Storm. All right, next up we have Nightcrawler, which is one of my favorite X-Men. And just media, not just the show, but like.
Yeah, if this were in general, I'd put him in the S tier, but
yeah,
he's like barely in this show.
Yeah, but like when he's in it, he's great. Like
I'd say
that,
B.
like really B? Okay.
Well, he's only in like 2 or 3 episodes.
That's fair, but he's in 2 or 3. But I think that once he's in is so like I'd put him over everyone in A. I think weirdly
over everyone in A.
I would personally.
I mean, we could put him in A. I wouldn't put him in S though.
No, I wouldn't put him in S just because we didn't get enough of him. But I think the episodes he's in are really good. Like his stuff with Logan, and like I'm not like a Christian guy, but like I thought like making Logan like look at faith was really interesting. I thought like
I think I would put I can agree with putting him over everyone in A except for Mr. Sinister.
I mean I don't all right. That's fair. Like I think like
and I mean we can put Mystique at the bottom of A too since we've already given many cases where she could very well be a B.
Yeah, it sucks. But like I even think like Nightcrawler, like he gets more to do. He gets more like growth than Storm and Jean ever did, and like that's sad. Like that's so sad. Why give them more to do?
I guess that's fair, yeah, because I forgot how like super religious Nightcrawler is in a lot of iterations too until I saw this show. I'm like, oh. And I love the Halloween episode too. It's
great.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to like remember to watch that around Halloween every year. because it was a fun episode, and I can include that with my my Batman episodes that I watch every Halloween. So,
sure,
yeah.
All right, next up we got Mojo.
Why?
Can I just do that? Can I just?
Yeah, you can do that. Sure.
I was like, oh, that's someone that we can put in D. Throw him down there. I hated this guy so much. I was eating dinner the second time he appeared. I was like, I don't want to eat anymore. This is disgusting.
Yeah, he makes you not want to eat.
No, he's disgusting. I hated this guy. He had 2 episodes, and I hated both of them. Like, concept-wise, it's a lot of fun. Like, I get it. I just don't personally enjoy watching this guy.
I liked him. I like the take on him a bit more in Wolverine and the X-Men. I don't know how that show keeps coming up, but I like.
I didn't even know he was in that show. I gotta rewatch that now because I don't even remember that. That's
yeah, he's
crazy.
in a couple episodes.
Really? That's crazy. I need to rewatch it. That's crazy.
And it's a Nightcrawler thing too. So like he's involved with the Nightcrawler story.
That's kind of crazy. I would be kind of curious what he would be like in live action, though. I'm not saying I want him in the movies, but I'd be fascinated to see what he'd look like.
He's basically just Mongol, right? You remember Mongol from
Yeah.
So like whatever he's doing is basically just their version of Warworld. That's what I take it as, anyway.
Yeah.
But I guess he's doing it more so for. They're both doing it for entertainment, but Mongols is like more for personal entertainment, and this dude's is for like fame.
Yeah, it's like this contest of champions type thing, which typically I love as a concept.
Essentially the same thing as Warworld. So
yeah,
I like Mongol more. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm ever going to rewatch the show, I'm definitely skipping those episodes because I just.
I mean, if I ever rewatch the show, I'll probably watch all the episodes, but
Braden's better than me, I guess. Okay. Next up we have Rogue.
S.
I think she's. I think she's so good.
She is incredible.
I think just in general,
she's my 3rd favorite character. Yeah, I think Magneto and Wolverine are all I like more than her personally. But yeah, like we were saying earlier, she's just like such a complex character, and there's so many layers to her. Like not only her powers, but like how hand in hand that goes with her emotions and such. Like when she touches someone, she absorbs their powers and their emotions and life experiences. Like her head is an insane mess.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've always said if I ever wanted to make like a superhero movie, I think Rogue would be a fascinating movie to make because she's such a complex character, such a tragic character. It's not a happy movie. Like it's a very tragic film. Like I think the idea of like killing your first boyfriend because you kissed him.
Yeah, no, like, if you could borderline make a Rogue horror movie, like if you wanted to.
Right. It's so sad and so complex, and like this version of the character is a lot more positive than I'm used to Rogue. Like I'm so used to like the gothic Rogue, and I almost think I like this version better. Like she feels so.
It was so refreshing to like see, especially like I don't know if you get like the Rogue in the show without Gambit because like their back and forth very much just added to that, and it made how Rogue was like believable because there was someone that was there for her constantly.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. And just like her Captain Marvel episode was so dark. Like she put her in a coma, and I know there's so many people want to see that in like live action stuff like that, but like it's the gives you that larger taste of like the Marvel universe and stuff like that. And again, so tragic, but like she has such a like great personality as well that you love to follow. And like I'll be honest, if I was her, I would take that cure. I would want a cure because like that'd be a terrible way to live, not being able to touch another human being. Like,
oh yeah, that whole torn thing.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, no, if I was in her situation, I mean, yeah, no, you have to steer her away. Like, you can't vault her. She took it.
Right. No, 100%. Yeah, it'd be a terrible way to live. And
like her powers can bring good to others, but like nothing is doing good for her.
Yeah.
Like when you really look at it, like her powers are just destroying her.
Right. And like I always love the concept of there being so many like memories in her brain and having to like control them and like move with all of these thousands of people's memories and ideas and thoughts in their head at once. Like it's again fascinating. I think
Yeah,
I
it's like when you look at like Logan and like you see that tortured soul, like just
yeah.
look at Rogue and you see like thousands of tortured souls.
Yeah, I mean, she's touched it. So she has his trauma and everyone else that he's
Yeah, it's
never touched.
insane. Like
Yeah.
just his trauma is already enough. Like
Right.
he has a lifetime. He has more than a lifetime because he's centuries years old.
Right.
So she has yeah, it's insane. And who knows how much she fully retained.
Right.
But like the most
And for how
painful of
long.
memories truly stay in there.
Right.
Because it probably like acts as it does with whoever she absorbs it from, you know?
Yeah.
Like if it's something they remember, she probably remembers. And she feels that pain too.
Yeah. And like Charles oftentimes tries to like clear some of that away and tries to heal her, which is always fun to watch, but like can't do everything. And Charles is gone now inside this new show, so be interesting to see where we take her.
Jean?
Hmm?
That's the thing. There's always telepaths that can like help clear some of that so she doesn't go insane.
Right. Already next we have Apocalypse.
I guess I guess A.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't like Apocalypse that much. I'll be honest. I kind of thought it was boring. And like they introduced them in the first season, they didn't come back for like 2 seasons. I don't know. I'd kind of put him in C. I'll be honest.
Damn. Can we meet
we
in the middle and go B?
Yeah. I don't hate
Jesus, C.
I don't know. I know that's
I didn't think it was that. Look, his voice was silly. Okay, his voice was silly, but he was great.
Listen, I know that's a hot take. I know because people love Apocalypse, and I was just kind of like,
awesome.
I was just kind of like, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I was gonna say, like he's kind of like a weird villain, but so is Mr. Sinister. So a lot of X-Men villains are just weird.
I just thought like Sinister was more interesting than Apocalypse most times.
That's fair. I can agree with that. Inside the show, definitely.
Yeah. And hopefully like Apocalypse gets better treatment in the movies than Pedro did.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
Wait, it was Pedro. No, it wasn't Pedro. It was Oscar Isaac, right? Oscar Isaac. Yeah.
Pedro. Oh, Pedro Pascal.
I was thinking Pedro Pascal. I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't him.
Yeah, that was Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac. Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to when we rewatch that one. I'm not looking forward to that.
That should be fun. All right, we have Cable.
I'd probably put him B with Bishop. He's probably in as much of the show as Bishop.
Yeah. I didn't like. He was fine here. Like he didn't do anything.
Yeah, I agree.
And like, because typically he's Scott's son, right? Like that's what he is inside the comics. He's Scott and Jean's son.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he'll come back at some point. Who knows? Like Jean's pregnant, right? So maybe we.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we get Cable. But yeah, I didn't have a strong feeling on him either way. He was just kind of there, and I was like, okay, now he's gone. See you, Josh. Just kidding. Okay, and then last.
I mean, I was never upset when a Cable episode came along. I was like, no, they could have done something way less interesting than Cable.
Yeah, no, he's just kind of there. Like we didn't get to dive too much into him.
And I kind of like how a lot of his episodes kind of like he's got his own little storyline within the show. So like you could watch like all the Cable episodes back to back to back and skip over everything else and kind of have like a miniature Cable story. Like if you just wanted to watch some Cable stuff.
Right. That is true. That is true. And last but not least, we have Professor X.
So there's not an X tier, but there is an S tier.
Would you say S?
It's Professor X. Can you say anything else?
I guess so. I'm trying to think. I feel like I don't like. I love Professor X. I do. I feel like I don't like him as much as some of the S tier though. Like I think I'm okay with this. I think on principle,
it's just like the thing is like nothing would happen without him. Like the team wouldn't even be there without him.
that's true. But when he's not there, I feel like not much changes. Like I feel like the show kind of like in season 2, he wasn't there for half the season. And I was like, as much as I love him as a character, I feel like he was kind of the same.
Oh yeah, I'm always fine with that though. Like even in
Like
general, I'm fine when Professor X is in there. But
yeah, I feel like he's sometimes a plot device when it needed. Like he kind of pushes things along. I I I I will agree with S just on the principle that it is like, he's that guy. Like he is, like he's like your Iron Man, where it's like, yeah, he's that guy. He has to be the best. So I can
so
agree
yeah,
with that.
Cable's real name is Nathan Summers. I'm about to see if that is I'm about to see if that's James and Scott's firstborn son. Because we'll have our answer to if that baby's Cable or not. Unless they do something different than the comics. Firstborn son. X-Men. What? Oh. Oh. Wait. They have twins? Nathaniel and Nathan? That's what that says. Why do they basically why do they give them the same name essentially?
Nathaniel and Nathan. I mean Nate and
Nate is literally just you can just call them both Nate for short.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, just kind of looking at that list, is there any that you would like to change or kind of like move around, or are you pretty okay with like what we got here?
I would definitely put Rogue above Cyclops. I would put her above Beast, but if you want to keep Beast above her, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine. I wasn't really like putting them up here, but like,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, the tiers. Sorry, I'm kind of used
that's
to
okay.
that.
That's right.
Nah, that looks pretty good to me. I think we did a pretty solid job.
I like it. So yeah, again, thank you, Brayden, for coming on here and chatting with us for a bit. This is a very fun episode. I'll just say this, I'm very excited for the next 8 weeks of X-Men content. It's going to be a really fun time, I think.
So there's 10 episodes of season 1?
There's 10 episodes, yeah, so we have 8 more weeks or so.
Heck yeah.
I'm excited. Well, Brayden, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me at the Red Arrow on YouTube, or if you use the actual @ thing, I think it's at the Red Arrow _YT. That's pretty much the only place I'm active at right now. So there you go. Or you can actually find That's So Random or the Giggly Gorilla podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. It's on YouTube at the Red Arrow, so you should go check either of those shows out, both of those shows out, whatever you want to do. That's So Random. That's where we're talking about the X-Men movies.
Yes.
I just put up a old episode, 3-year-old recording of me and Andrew talking about the original Godzilla versus Kong in anticipation for Godzilla X Kong, and we'll be covering that once it's out. We're also wrestling fans over there, so we'll be talking about some WrestleMania stuff soon. We'll be talking about WrestleMania 40 after it happens. So yeah, and Giggly Gorilla's kind of been silent ever, he's a schoolboy, he's a college boy, he's been busy with that, so yeah, we'll see when that returns. But
yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of fun kind of like working with you through the X-Men films and kind of re-diving into those with some of the
It's been really fun. It's a big year for X-Men. It's been fun doing it with you.
So big. We have Deadpool coming up. X-Men is this year as well. Obviously, it's going on now, and just like rewatching those movies, it just made I'm in my X-Men era, which has been a lot of fun.
It's pretty crazy. It's like we've only been it's been 3 years since New Mutants, but like it feels like this is like a rebirth for the X-Men. Yeah. It's like, oh my god, they're finally back.
But like even then, like Charles showed up in like your Doctor Strange 2 and stuff like that. So it's like it's not like we haven't had these characters. And again, Logan's back this year.
Yeah, no, but nah, I never got excited about like cameos and stuff though. Like that's just different.
Well,
like these full projects though, like I'm excited that they're back.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because like when you know when Patrick Stewart showed up in Multiverse of Madness, it was cool, but I'm like, okay, cool, but when are the X-Men like fully going to be in this universe? That's what I actually care about. I've seen this guy as Professor X so many times, and Logan was the perfect send-off for him, so I didn't really need to see him again. It was awesome because I love him, but I'm ready for this new era of X-Men.
I agree.
And yeah, I feel like Deadpool 3 is probably here to kind of usher it in, but they can't fully usher it in just yet because of the recasting thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm very much excited for X-Men 97. Excited to watch the rest of that these next couple months, and I'm excited for Deadpool 3 or Wolverine or Deadpool and Wolverine. That's what it's called, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's definitely a fun time to be like an X-Men fan and everything that follows over these next couple of years. As far as what I'm putting out this week, on Monday I'll be fully talking about X-Men 97 along with the newest episode of Invincible, and also we're jumping into Monarch, the first half of the season 1 with our co-host Darth over there. That'll be this Monday. I'll probably post some kind of video throughout the week as well. Make sure to join our Discord server if you guys have not already. We're officially going to start promoting it. We've had it for like a year now, but I always forget to promote it. So link now it should be down below, unless I forgot again, which is very, very likely. And again, Braden, thank you so much for being here. It was great to have you on again. We'll have to do it again soon. It's always a pleasure to have you on here and to chat about whatever for like 2 hours. But yeah, I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye-bye.